Now it's okay. Yeah. So, good afternoon, everybody. Today, I am really honored to share a stage with someone, Honorable Dr. Tandon, who actually won Padma Shri Award. And thanks to CSR Universe that within a very short notice, they incorporate me in as a speaker. So today I will be talking about sustainable industry, particularly recycled carbon black industry. So, what is the situation today? Mainly, as we can say, our government, our country, and all the countries worldwide, they are we can say running or striving to achieve some sustainable goal or to make our world better for our future generation. For that, we have recognized some 10 categories of waste, hazardous waste. Among that, one of the major waste is waste tire. So the situation is like in every year worldwide 1.5 billion tires are getting wasted. Every new tire in India, the typical pattern is after 3 to 5 hours they become ELT, like we can say end of life tire, and they become waste. So now these are some of the present situation that we can say 17 million tons of solid waste are being generated per year from the waste tire. 5 to 10% contribution to ocean plastic, and 3 to 7% according to 3 to 7% accounting of the urban PM 2.5 air pollution. So all this happened due to the waste tire dumping or landfilling. Uh, Particularly if we talk about carbon or greenhouse gas emission, tire itself, actually the processing of tire from carbon black, it is like 169 kg of CO2 per ton. But in the if we process recycling carbon into a tire, then it is 36 to 123 kg of CO2 per emission. So we can say that there is a huge gap, or we can say huge reduction in carbon emission if we use recycled carbon instead of virgin carbon, that is fossil fuel or coal based carbon. So now tire waste causes all these hazards, fire hazards. If nowadays you can say anybody, if you open YouTube or even Google, you can type tire fire, you will see a video of Iraq where a huge desert filled with all waste tires, and they are just burning them and causing whatever air pollution and atmospheric pollution. Then again in India we can see that land are filled with tires, and then tires are filled with rainwater, and they are actually a good breeding ground for mosquitoes and all the vectors, and obviously the water pollution. So now, not going into technology, very in layman language, since I am also from the sustainability background, not from the engineering background, but for my company, I will say I will little bit of explain this process. What we basically intend to do, we will take in recycled carbon black industry, we will take the waste tire, we simply cut them or shred them or grind them, then we put them into a reactor, that is basically a pyrolysis reactor. So we use certain amount of pressure, temperature and heat in which in which the tire is being chemically decomposed, and it will give us four product, that is four products that are 40% of carbon black, 40% of oil, and 3 to 10% of gas, 8 to 10% of gas, and 8 to 10% of steel scrap. Now this fuel and this gas and oil, these are more than sufficient to run the own reactor itself, so it will be directly feeded cycle, we can say re-entered into the into the reactor, so that the reactor keep on heated. So this plant is you can say energy efficient, since it is not using any fossil fuel or extra electricity to run this factory. So, talking about the business scope, this is the situation worldwide, we can say. Among all the waste tire that are generated, 55 to 57% are recovered. So, there is a huge scope of recovering 43%. And let me tell you, tire industry is the biggest industry for recycled carbon black, but other than that also carbon black is in every industry. You can say this mic, these lights, even our makeup, even dye, even ink, in airport, the conveyor, everywhere recycled carbon can be used and are being used. Not in India but outside India. In India also, the industry just started to transform, and I will say why. Because of the very strict regulation of EPR and hazardous waste management, CPCB, from Ministry of Environment Forest. Now tire industries are bound to use recycled carbon black in making of their tire. So why I am talking all of this today? Because you know, India is one of, as I worked previously with central government, I can say India is one, not only striving for achieving sustainable goals, but India is in many cases one of the leading country for achieving sustainable goal. So any sustainable goal can't be achieved if one of the major sector of our country, that is the industry, is not shifting towards sustainability. It is not only about doing CSR activities or doing social activities, obviously it is, but it is about now shifting the entire ecosystem, or at least the 50% of its own ecosystem, of its own process, towards a sustainable process, so that in our country can earn GDP from it, and our country can grow, and automatically the sustainable goals will be achieved. So these are the sustainable goals which are directly related to this kind of operation. First of all, the circular economy. Now the whole world is actually talking about this thing. Simple thing is that you produce and consume responsibly, with responsibility, and whatever you are producing at a certain time, after a certain time, its life is going to be end. So after it become a waste, you use it in your own process, you recycle it, reuse it. So this is the more or less overall concept of circular economy. Then the climate change, obviously you reduce or net, we are actually our country aimed to achieve net zero CO2 emission by 2070. So any sustainable industry, including recycled carbon black, is doing 80 to 90% less carbon emission than the parent industry. The trend, now here I want to say that the trend is like that any big construction or manufacturing industry, as their scale is very large, they are not having interest to run a small scale industries like these sustainable industries, recycle carbon black industries, or MSMEs. So the trend is like they are joining hand with one of these recycle industries, and they grow side by side, taking benefit of each other. So like that way also we can grow, and we can contribute in climate change. Then obviously the clean water, innovation and good health. See, health hazard, anyway the industry, if it is zero emission, if it is energy sufficient, it is actually reducing health hazard. Because in fossil fuel intensive carbon black industry, after a certain, a person, if he is working in the factory, after 5 year or 10 year, he need to change his job, because all these chemical, we can say chemical fires and everything, they are actually causing a huge health hazard, which is actually absent in recycled carbon black industry. Then water efficiency, uh, anyway we have learned that in industry itself, industry is a very regulated sector. So in particularly in recycled carbon black industry, these are water efficient because we use very less water, and whatever water we use, we keep on recycling it. We need water only to keep our reactor in a particular temperature, not more than that, not less than that. So this is water efficient industry also. And innovation, obviously sustainable industry itself is a new concept, and innovation is time to time, day by day going on. uh, so our government, while India's sustainability drives actually, so these are all some of the major, we can say, drives of India. Like in case of industry, what are the strict regulation for which industry is now shifting towards sustainable industry? First of all, BSRS. Now, if you want to register yourself as one of top 500 or say 1000 industry or company of India, you have to do this business responsibility and sustainability report activity. So that means you have to run in a sustainable way, and you have to make a report and what responsibility you are fulfilling towards the society. These things you have to do. Then again, obviously net zero CO2 emission, we recycle carbon back industry is contributing in this sector by reducing carbon back emission 90% in comparison with using original carbon black industry. Sorry. Then India's long-term low-carbon development program. Here also multiple low-carbon development programs are there. There one sector is there, that is industrial sector or innovation in recycle sustainable industry. So there we are touching this drive also. Then EPR, that is the main and that is the main thing, that is actually now all the tire industries are developing their green tires. You can name any big tire industry like Birla Carbon, Apollo, Epsilon, whatever, they are making their sustainable tires. So not going into much detail, I am going to my one of the last slide, that in EnviroCarbon what we do, we make recovered carbon black, and we use continuous process, not the batch process. In batch process, that is actually energy intensive, because because that will switch on and switch off the plant in a particular frequency, but in continuous process, at least for a year, for 360 to 366 day, the plant will go on. So it's an efficient process to give you optimum product, maximum product in optimum utility of energy, water, fuel, everything. Then it's a zero emission process. It's industry 5.0 integrated process, because we are using both the AI, robotics and the human intervention side by side. And also we are looking forward for, we are actually from heart sustainably, believe in sustainability. Then we have our expert team from multiple sector, and we are doing global partner. We did global partnership, we worked, we have our success story which I will not elaborate here. So, and we are incorporating real time monitoring also, so that one can see all the operations, all the operations. If anything anywhere is happening, you can identify the area and you can readily come to that place for mitigating them. So yeah, so now I, this is also a call for partnership for any recycling business, because in recycling carbon black we are here, but we are interested in any recycling business where we can recycle and reuse waste, and we can grow together. Thank you.
Ashish, can we have Ashish to felicitate our guest? The next and the last impact talk for today's session is from Ms. Charmi K. Patel, the lead architect at Huge CSR.